I'll be very honest with you. Twitch knows Asmongold is botting. They will never do anything about it. Twitch knows Asmongold is consistently violating the terms of service. They will never do anything about it. Twitch knows Asmongold's audience is routinely harassing other content creators, much smaller content creators in general, maybe even like driving them off the platform. They will never do anything about it. Asmon has double your view count though. Hassan, your mods banned me on my last account for saying I was Jewish. Do you support this? Oh, that's funny. I wanted to see the receipts. Well, there you go. He already hit the receipts. Why do these guys do this? They're so stupid. Yes, Asmongold is very clearly botting, chatter. What do you want me to say? Who gives a fuck? Asmongold could bot to 100K viewers or have 100K real viewers. That doesn't change that I'm correct on this argument. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I don't understand what this has to do with anything. Like, what? You don't have an argument, so you just lean into this shit? Okay, go bot him more then. Go buy him more bots. All you're doing here is just saying you don't know how to do math. These guys are... I feel like these guys are giving the game away, by the way, with the whole point of... Bro, they've been coming here, subbing just to say some dumb shit and get clapped. Hell yeah. No, keep subscribing. I love that. It doesn't make any sense. He has 30K with the bots, dude. We saw that already. I know. No, not even 30K. He had 20K with the bots. The day that Twitch... The 3-day process where Twitch actually took down the bots was the only day where Asmongold was suspiciously under my view count. We all saw it happen. Everybody remembers it. And that's precisely the reason why his audience has to keep coping. Okay? That was the one day, suspiciously, where Asmongold was devoid of 20K bots. And he had like 27K or something. And that was it. It's all good, baby. Even if he had a real audience of 60,000 viewers, that still wouldn't change the argument here. It has nothing to do with anything. He suspiciously stopped streaming for a couple days, and then the bots came back. He literally sent out a tweet saying, "It's undeniable that my metrics are botted." The tweet is still up on his Twitter. I know. It must have been a real coincidence. Yeah, look at August 20th to 21st, minus 20K viewers. You know what? Let's look at that, actually. Is that when it was? Does anyone have a link to the Twitch tracker real quick? Now that we got some cockroaches in the chat. The question is, who's doing it and why they're doing it, okay? Yeah, you can keep coping. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Hassan crash out over Asmongold. Am I crashing out? Am I? Does it seem to you like I'm crashing out? Or are you just having a hard time seeing observable reality? Removing bots and artificial viewership is better for everyone on the platform. I suspect it's a work in progress and Twitch is still A/B testing further. But you have been on the brakes. You have been on brakes, so that could be the reason. I would say 95% certainty that my channel is being botted. Any logical person would come to that conclusion. This was the day, right? What the f? These are clips. Why did you send me the clips? What was it? It's August, right? The 2 days. The 2 days when they actually cooked the bots. What is this? Is this the August 20th and 21st? If you go to his Twitch tracker, they are the 2 worst performing streams of all 2025 for him. He's saying right now at this moment, you are manufacturing a narrative regarding Renee Good. No, I'm actually manufacturing a different narrative right now. A narrative that runs around, a narrative around the truth. Where is it? I need to see. I don't know how to find like the... Dude, this is the funniest thing. I can't even figure out like how to do any of this shit. Is it August 2025? Here, let's run it. Let's run it from here. Let's run it from here. When was the bot purge? Like right here? Here, let's do a 2-week time period. Oh, wait, this is 2024. God, I'm so stupid. What happened here? What happened right here? What happened right here? Asmongold chatters? Why did that happen? The Viewbot purge happened on the 21st. Your channel compared to Asmongold's? That's just stats over the past 30 days. Bro, what the fuck are you doing? Multiple times recently, Asmon has refused to comment on you, and here you are. Refused to comment on me? You know we can see your chats in his stream, right? Where he's like very clearly talking every day. The sub numbers are the most damaging. Yeah, he has like 6K subs or something. He's talking about me right now, probably. Let's see, randomly clicking.
He's got, yeah, exactly. And what is this here? How much do you want to bet that she watches streams? I don't know if she did or not. And wait till you surpass his follower count again. And the funniest thing about me viewbotting, right? This is the other thing too. I'll see if he is doing it today or not.
Doing it today. Doing it today. Doing it any day. What is this?
What? What's this?
What is this show?
Oh no. Oh no.
Wait, what is this show?
What's this? Oh no.
Wait, I'm confused. What is he? Yeah, I get follower botted all the time. What?
He's also not accountable for doing this. Keep this in mind. He's not accountable for this. I'm not blaming Hassan on this, but the idea that you're going to go around and constantly delegitimize and accuse me of viewbotting when your channel is getting follower botted, I don't know if your channel is getting view botted or not. I have no idea. I would never accuse somebody of that. His channel doesn't look like it's being view botted. But what I will say is that it's absolutely
it doesn't look like it's getting view botted.
It is. It's undeniable.
Well, yours does.
This is happening. Look at this.
Where yours does, though. Yeah. We purge bots regularly. He knew I would come in. Whoa, follower botted.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, we'll look at this here in a minute. And so we got one more.
He does this every time.
He's being follow botted.
He knows he's getting botted.
He is. He's being follow botted. This is undeniable.
Yes. I have a lot of freaks that try to hate rate. That's why we have a slow stream and a follow restriction. We purge them every day.
So let me look at this here. So this is the to expose worm disinformation tracker.
How do you see the viewer versus chatter ratio that in the past used to show? Yeah, he has 7,000 subs with 61,000 people watching. I have 49,000 subs with 43,000 people watching. And you can always look at chatters as well. If you look at my current chatter count, and it shows it right here, there's 39,000 active chatters in my chat. Okay? There's 39,000 active chatters in my chat. 39,000 active chatters in the chat. Currently, 43,000 viewers totally. When you look at the percentage of active viewership versus, when you look at the percentage of active viewership versus like what the viewership numbers say, which was in the past one of the best possible ways. Yeah, don't let this distract you from the fact that you said he's probably watching me right now and he was literally on your metrics when you pulled it up. Exactly. Not only does viewership not prove whether someone is more correct than another person, right? Not only does it even not matter, and the only reason why they are trying to lean into this argument is because the argument doesn't have any legs to stand on. Even on top of like the viewership, even on the viewership conversation that we might be having, he still very clearly has like boosted metrics. Where do you see the actual his skyrockets instantly, but where do you actually see the viewership to look at his viewership ratio. Is 68%. Look at my viewership to users ratio, 89%. Do you understand? His has rarely ever been. His used to be even worse. His viewership before the bot purge, this is January 3rd for the record, his viewership before the bot purge was at 40%. So we know not only does the users to viewer ratio, make no mistake, by the way, the users to viewer ratio is not even the perfect metric to figure this out, because there are now newer bots that showcase that there's like, that there are newer bots that show that like they're also getting to make it seem like there's a higher user to viewer ratio to begin with, as far as I understand. But if you look at this for the longest time, for like the past year or so, if you look at all of his streams when he was peak botting, he had like a user to viewer ratio that was 40%. Do you think this is what 99% of his stream looks like when he talks to you, claiming something, getting into it, and then completely sidetracking? We literally knew Asmon was going to do this when we called out the bot following in mod chat 2 days ago. Yeah. You are quite literally an outlier among top streamers with their viewer authenticity. He's been botting for a very long time. That disinfo account is making him sweat, yet he constantly relies on Hassan hate accounts for clips, but he can't handle the heat for 1 week. I know. Do I think he's doing it himself? No. I don't think he's doing it himself. I think someone is doing it for him. And I think he just, obviously, why would he get mad if someone is just like botting him? It makes him feel good. Remember, this is a person who stopped streaming on his main Twitch page because he got embarrassed because he couldn't like play a video game appropriately. And he got yelled at so much. Asmongold is a very insecure person. He tries to present himself as like this bold, confident individual, but he quite literally stopped streaming on his main account because he was getting yelled at and humiliated for playing like a From Software game, I think, right? When he rage quit Dark Souls. And it's funny because like for all the shit that people say about me, like I burned through the anger. I've broken controllers playing From Software games. He actually quit, or was it Final Fantasy 14? I don't know. But anyway, he just had like a nervous breakdown and stopped streaming on his main account for that reason. And then he slowly but surely built up his second account, the Zach Rohr one. You are the only person keeping Asmon relevant. He has no real audience. It's all bots. Yes, I know. My chatters are brilliant. They totally understand how this kind of stuff works. You're right. Like, you do realize he still has like 30K viewers, right? Like, that's still a pretty sizable right-wing sphere of influence on this platform. Like, it's still, he might actually have less real viewership than I do, but that doesn't change the reality that he still has a pretty significant amount of viewers. And he has a very popular major YouTube channel. Now, I don't know if he's botting his YouTube channel as well, but we at least have evidence that he is certainly botting. Yeah, this was Slasher. Slasher said, Asmongold got made fun of for being bad at Dark Souls, quit Twitch, and came back as the world's most evil streamer. Making him relevant by showing us that pests like this exist? No, chatters. Unfortunately for many of you, you have the woke version of object permanence, like lack of object permanence. You know how we talk about like conservatives have no object permanence, and if I go like this, peekaboo, you forget that I exist. You do the same thing. I understand it's annoying to talk about him or even see him or see his commentary, and it's very frustrating. But the reality of the matter is, just because you shove your head in a sandpit and just refuse to recognize that Asmongold exists doesn't mean that he's going away. Someone has to actually combat it. Someone has to combat his talking points. Someone actually has to contest his legitimacy in terms that a lot of these freaks understand. This is a stupid argument to make regardless, because it has nothing to do with the actual policy. But unfortunately for many people on the internet, this is the one way that they test someone's legitimacy. So every now and then, when his audience comes in here to complain about how I'm always talking about Asmongold while he's literally talking about me at the same time, I have to show them something that maybe causes them to question whether or not this person is legitimate. That's it. Because that's the reason why many of them consistently talk about how Asmongold has a lot of viewers. Asmongold has a lot of viewers. You're coping. The reason why they're doing that is because it's all vibes for them. So when you actually showcase that the one metric that they're using to show how correct Asmongold is also wrong, they start second guessing themselves. Okay? That's it. I do sometimes wish there were people that, in my community as well, that had a similar perspective, that understood why I was doing this kind of thing. He's still very relevant in the MMO world too, which I'm sure many people here don't care about. He's still very relevant to a lot of people, unfortunately. Exactly. He's utterly irrelevant as a political actor or commentator because like 5% of his viewers, being generous, ever interact with the real world or go outside at all. They only exist online. They will never influence or accomplish anything other than people off online. Yes and no. So there is some truth to what you're saying here. Okay, there is some truth to what you're saying here, for sure. But unfortunately, in this administration, as much as I love saying like Twitter's not real life, this administration makes Twitter real life. Not only does this administration make Twitter real life, but Asmongold also routinely harasses people, whether it be like game devs that he demands get fired. Some of them do actually end up getting fired. So like he does have a way to move his community around in a way that has real world impact. And he does this with like regular frequency. He also does have a lot of people that are getting his talking points and then spreading it around. I mean, he's making this space a more toxic space. When you have one of the largest content creators on any platform routinely doing transphobic propaganda, routinely defending this unlawful state execution of a 37-year-old mom, how can you say that this is irrelevant and that we shouldn't talk about it at all? This is incredibly relevant. It's my backyard. This is my community. This is the space that I occupy. Of course, I'm going to be talking about it. Of course, I'm going to contest it. And I'm going to try to fight back to the best of my ability. It might not come across as important to you because you mostly just, come here just to see me, hear my takes, and you treat me like I'm NPR. But I have to live in this space. Many of you don't have to live in this space. I have to live in this space. And I don't like it when I see Asmongold's monstrous audience going to other communities and up those spaces as well and making this place more toxic in general. He has almost single-handedly been able to turn the landscape here, the political environment here, the landscape on this platform into a very toxic and very right-wing one, because a lot of people don't actually entertain politics from the point of ideology. They don't entertain politics from the point of policies. They entertain politics from the point of vibes. And if the vibes overall are seemingly leaning through these sorts of botting and through these sorts of metrics, if the vibes overall are creating an environment where like, oh, it's actually the cool thing to be like super right wing, to say yeah based over and over again to Donald Trump videos, or if it's actually to say around and find out when a 37-year-old woman gets executed in broad daylight by an ICE agent, then other people also think, like by way of peer pressure or by wanting to fit in with an in-group, decide this is the appropriate way to do politics, is the appropriate way to talk about politics. Twitch is your community. As much as chatters want to wave their noses at other Twitch streamers and watchers and streamers, the reality is you simply want to improve where you spend most of your time. I know. Yes. And I remember a time when it didn't used to be this way, when a lot of right-wing content creators, or a lot of for the most part, wanted to at least come across as like politically correct in an effort not to get their their funding pulled, right? So they would do this. They would just basically follow best practices because the terms of service was fairly rigorously applied in general, even if it went out of hand every now and then. There were all these other content creators like Rape Tone, for example, or Asmongold. They had seemingly these kinds of opinions, but they would just like keep them at bay. They wouldn't like openly say it. And as a consequence of that, the environment was way less toxic. But it turns out that self-censorship that they engaged in was causing them tremendous. And now that the floodgates are open, and now that the administration is actively trying to foment right-wing sentiment everywhere and move culture in that direction, they're increasingly expanding the permission structure of whatever kind of right-wing shit you can say. We're talking about a person who is like openly fantasizing about like having Nick Fuentes on his broadcast, right? Like that's unheard of. That's incomprehensible, many, many years ago. At the very least, Twitch's policy is inconsistent. By merit of having such a large audience, Asmongold is clearly permitted to behave in a way that wouldn't have been permissible at any other point in Twitch's history, even 2012. Exactly. And the way that they were able to justify this is by consistently leaning into outside groups like the ADL and whatnot. Anytime the ADL got mad at me, or anytime like other large content creators that I have like political disagreements with got mad at me and said I was an anti-Semitic terrorist or whatever, they would keep demanding that Twitch ban me. And when Twitch didn't ban me, they would say, oh, he owns Twitch. He owns the terms of service in Twitch. And then if I did get banned, they would move the goalposts and say, oh, he only got banned for a short period of time. He still very clearly owns Twitch. Every time they did this, they created this environment that Twitch was like hyper woke when that wasn't the case. And because Twitch clearly responds to outside influence with regular frequency. That's the reason why Asmongold never gets banned, except for when he very literally said that Palestinians deserve to be genocided. I'm Magnets. Can't believe you timed that. I don't know who Magnets is, brother. I'm sorry for your other chatter bestie that you feel like was unjustly maligned. Okay, does anyone else want that? Does anyone else want the smoke about how I like conduct myself or how I how I do discourse and commentary? I genuinely don't know where you're coming from when you come in here and you're like, I can't believe you silenced someone that was my friend for, I don't know, an extended period of time. He has been gloating about the murder of this mom, calling her a bitch and how they need to kill more people. You get banned instantly if you did that for Charlie Kirk. Oh, 100%. Can you imagine right after Charlie Kirk got shot, if I turned around and said R.I.P. Bozo, like on Twitter, not even on Twitch, but on Twitter, if I said R.I.P. Bozo, he deserves it, and anyone who actually doesn't feel that way also deserves to be shot too, in the same way that Asmongold is doing right now, what do you think would happen? Not only would there be 24/7 Fox News coverage, okay? Not only would there be Fox News 24/7 coverage on this issue, I would literally get harassed endlessly. People would be showing up to my house trying to kill me, okay? And also I'd get banned off Twitch for like at least 30 days. So think about that. Think about the inconsistency. If terms of service violations is the only thing that you understand, and obviously not for you chatters are more focused on the politics of it all. But there are still people that like perceive this stuff through the lens of drama. Like how many slop tubers would make videos about that shit? Asmongold on the ice shooting. You are never going to convince these people. Shoot them, then you victory lap around them if you do. If
people trying to call this a murder and all that. Well, hey, maybe they shouldn't be in front of the car. The thing is that you're never going to convince these people that it's not, okay? Like, it doesn't matter. The only thing you have to do is crush them. You crush them completely. You never go, like, after you say, basically after you run one of them over, right? Or you shoot one of them for trying to run you over, then you victory lap around it and you send in more people and you do it even more. That's the only solution. That you're never going to win these people over. You're never going to explain it to them. You're never going to be like, oh, well, why won't you see my point of view? Because they don't want to. Why not just shoot the tires? So that way you make the car unsafe and some other innocent bystander can get hurt indiscriminately because the person didn't follow.
I mean, shooting the person in the head is making the car unsafe too. What the fuck?
The law? Nah, bro, you shoot them right in the fucking face. They said to stop the car. They said not to do this. They said to get out. And she's walking around driving around.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is literally like a lighter version of what Destiny got unpartnered for, by the way. Like, if I was in Destiny's shoes, first of all, never will be, okay? I would be losing my mind right now. Back in the day, during Peak Woke, when Destiny said, I don't give a fuck, the riots need to stop so bad. The riots need to stop. They're harming the Democratic Party's chances of winning the election. I don't give a fuck if a white supremacist, runs the rioters over or whatever. He got unpartnered for it. That was that was the beginning of the downfall for him. He got perma-banned, perma-fried. I mean, he did a lot of shit past that point. He did a lot of shit at that point that obviously caused him to never get unbanned because he was so toxic and he was like constantly harassing people, which Asmongold does with a much larger audience, for the record. This is advocacy for straightforward violence. Yeah, he said mow down protesters. That's what Destiny said. He's literally talking about, shooting protesters in the head, shooting people driving cars in the fucking head. His audience is consistently coming in and hate rating whoever the fuck is in his crosshairs. Luckily for all the much smaller content creators nowadays, I'm in the crosshairs all the time. So they just mostly come in here and yell at me. And, that's fine. I'll take it. I can tank it, right? I can tank the entirety of the fucking conservative commentary sphere and maybe even the administration. I can tank Asmongold. It's not that big of a deal. But the reality of the matter is, this kind of statement, if I were to say this about, Charlie Kirk in the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk shooting, if I just kept saying like people who want to defend Charlie Kirk also deserve the same fate, I would get banned for 30 days easy. Maybe for the rest of my life, let's be real. I might get banned from life. So the very fact that Asmongold gets to say this should call into question whether or not Twitch is woke at all. And I've talked about this before. The reason why, and by the way, this is being highlighted by Captive Dreamer, who is one of the more prominent open neo-Nazis on Twitter. Okay, a famous neo-Nazi is posting this to give you context into like how far Twitch as a platform have moved to the right in what they apply terms of service to and what they choose not to apply terms of service to. I'll be very honest with you. Twitch knows Asmongold is botting. They will never do anything about it. Twitch knows Asmongold is consistently violating the terms of service. They will never do anything about it. Twitch knows Asmongold's audience is routinely harassing other content creators, much smaller content creators in general, maybe even like driving them off the platform. They will never do anything about it. And the reason why they will never do anything about it is because Twitch is terrified that if one day Asmongold gets banned for any number of different terms of service violations, like inciting violence against cops, as he did last week when he perceived cops as protecting Somali civilians and business owners against like random harassers, or even in this circumstance when he's very clearly fomenting discontent and actively inciting violence. If he were to get banned, the entire right-wing movement would come down Twitch and would consistently scream about how woke Twitch is. And I'm afraid a lot of people who are in the margins, like a lot of the slop tubers, would probably not even see this glaringly obvious inconsistency, and they would probably lean into that as well. And that's the reason why they are afraid of retaliation. They are afraid of retaliation because Asmongold is backed up by the most powerful person on the planet, the guy who owns Twitter, Elon Musk. That's the reason why a lot of people look the other way when they see the glaringly obvious hateful that he spews on a regular basis. That's the reason why Twitch will not ban him. They are terrified. Yeah, Twitch will most likely, Mike from PA said Twitch will only act after Trump loses control of Congress in both chambers. Yeah, for sure. Elon Musk knows that, and Trump probably is aware of this as well, but if they lose control of Congress, they are most likely going to, they're going to be on the chopping block. Like they will probably see a ton of scrutiny. The attitude shift will become calcified. And that is what they are trying to stop from happening to the best of their ability. I was actually talking to Mehdi Hassan about this, and Mehdi Hassan said that the next Democratic leadership has to go after Elon Musk and has to, hold him to account for the dangerous amount of misinformation that he's spreading on. He's spreading on his platform Twitter, and all of the racialized violence that he is fomenting. Right. And what did Elon Musk do? Elon Musk turned around and retweeted El Yacobi, claiming that Mehdi Hassan was trying to say that he wants 9/11 to happen again or something. Like, these guys are very obvious. I mean, they're very obviously aware of all the stuff that's happening on Twitch. They're very obviously aware of all the stuff that's happening on Reddit, on all these other social media platforms. They are legitimately worried about what might happen to them. And we can't let them get away with it. I don't know what else to say. We just cannot let them get away with this. But they are clearly fearful. Abi lütfen mesajımı oku, kafayı yiyeceğim. Aman ananı sikerim eğer iyi bir mesaj yoksa yalnız. What's up? Hayır almadım. Hayır zaten. Yo 6'dan sonra istiyorum zaten. Yani daha. Ya gece ben söylerim sana. Okey çıkar. Kaya da çıkar şimdi. Geldi zaten kapıya. Abi yardım et ya. I have a new job and a guy I work with watches Asmongold. He watched him for an hour today and I had to listen to that. I even turn you off when you react to him. What are the odds? He even argued with somebody else at work today that the women who got shot deserved it and made all the same talking points. I felt like it was in a fever dream. Çıkar istiyorsan. Trying to talk about American politics when you have a Chinese flag hanged in your room, Lord. Yeah, that's the beauty of the United States of America. You can actually do that and it doesn't mean anything. I have a Cuban flag back there and a Palestinian one too. I don't know if you noticed that. I'm sorry. Do you have an issue with that? Yes. I think that these countries have wonderful people in them, and I think that they should be able to live normal lives. Yeah. What's the issue? It's called freedom of speech. Suck my. Not only is that a Chinese flag, it's a Chinese flag that I picked up off the ground in Tiananmen Square, as a matter of fact, when I went to the flag raising ceremony. What other flags do I have? Yeah, I got a limited edition of WoW Classic 2 back there. Anyway, let's continue with this.
What are you talking about? Absolutely not. You shoot him right in the fucking head. That's it. Aim for the legs. Yeah, bro. Aim for the legs. Oh my God. Some of these people not thinking about this at all, bro. From the vehicle, from what I saw, I mean, barely, maybe. He barely got away. And yeah, he pulled the gun on her and he shot her. Yeah, the thing is, like, how is it even that close? Like, even if you think that, like, that's what happened, what are you talking about? They told her to get out of the car. She almost ran him over. Are you going to expect somebody to make, you know, a decision like that in 1/10 of a second whenever somebody's, like, actively basically trying to run him over? If somebody did this to an average person and they shot him, I'd say rip bozo. The fact is, this is just what happens. They told her to get out of the car. Did she get out of the car? No, she didn't. She did something that, I mean, I looked at it, it seemed like to me that, yeah, it's somebody trying.
What happened to Asmon Lamau? When did he get this insane and just bloodthirsty? Clout, ego, got to his head. That paired up with the boss that he's been getting made him feel powerful. His day will come. This is the first instance where, like, there is additional scrutiny on a lot of the stuff that he's saying because he got a little too big for his britches. Last time he got a little too big for his britches was when he said Palestinians deserve genocide. He at least, as a room reader, was, or as a Reddit reader, really, was a little bit more sheltered with, like, the more insane things that he truly believes.
To run over a police officer, number one. And number two, she disobeyed a direct order. And who knows what somebody like that is going to do. And this is a big issue that a lot of people don't understand, is that they don't understand the butterfly effect of allowing a person who...
Yeah, no, he's getting cooked on Twitter for the first time ever because most people didn't know who the fuck he was. But the more they see his pop-off moments, the more people will cook him.
You can see right.
Oh, yeah, this is another one I was going to show you earlier. This is good trouble cooking his ass, too.
And you can see right here, if the cop wasn't in front of the vehicle, then he wouldn't have been able to make this shot. It's pretty obvious. Yep, it's pretty obvious.
Rat.
Yeah, normies are starting to cook his ass a little bit.
There's a criminal like that.
Because he is fucking normie poison. And when he gets the twofer here, the double Monty, the twofer here that will destroy his confidence and will put an end to all of this is if he, one, loses his bots while simultaneously keeps getting cooked by normies over and over again who look to him and go, ew, gross. That's it.
To just escape away in a speed.
This guy's like polite society kryptonite. Exactly. I personally think it isn't the worst thing that he is like seen as a more visible aspect of right-wing conservatism nowadays. Because at least Ben Shapiro was buttoned up and had the capacity to get your normie dad to tune in. Okay. Same with like Jordan Peterson and whatnot. He is normie poison. So the more the non-internet using audience is aware of what he's doing and what he's saying, the worse it'll get for him in general. People will be like, what the f are you doing?
Speeding vehicle after immediately trying to run over a police officer. You don't know if that person's going to run somebody else over, if they're going to lose control of the car, if they're going to go and do this somewhere else, etc., right?
Yeah, I saw this. This was funny too. Yeah, Rip Bozo. This was like another moment, another big moment. That, or if any of his OTK friends decide to grow a backbone, Emmer just being a doormat for another man's personal. I don't know the relationship that he has with Emmer or anyone else for that matter. I don't live in Austin, and I'm not like super close with anyone that is there, so I can't speak to that. But I don't think that is gonna do it either. He only cares about views. Like, let's be real. Came back an hour after. We were still obsessed with Asmongold. Yes, chatter. That's what's going on. Okay.